For the first time in many months, Donald Trump has officially retaken the lead. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and I hope everyone is having a good day. I'm certainly having a great day myself, and before we dive into today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell. Also consider joining the channel for just $1 a month. These are great ways to support the content that I hope everyone enjoys. But enough of the promotional stuff. We have breaking news out of the Real Clear Politics polling average. Donald Trump has officially retaken the lead. Yes, that's official. As of October 26, 2024, Donald Trump has retaken the lead on the RCP polling average. Yeah, that's not a misquote. That's not a typo. That's not fake news. You can go to the Real Clear Politics polling average as of now, and this could theoretically change. I get that, but as of October 26, like 12 p.m. Eastern, right now, Trump is leading in the RCP average. And that's with some big outliers like Morning Compost, Reuters that has Harris up by 3, Harris plus 4. If it wasn't for those two shitty pollsters that have Harris up by 3 to 4 points, which are clear outliers, by the way, because every other pollster outside of those two either shows the race tied or a small Trump lead. Outside of those two polls, everyone is saying it's either tied nationally or Trump has a small lead, like 2 to 3 points, which for his standards, that's actually a big win because he has never won the popular vote. But either way, even with two shit pollsters like Reuters, like Morning Consult, right now, Trump is leading. And it'd probably be Trump plus 1, maybe Trump in plus 0.5 or something like that. Either way, Trump right now is leading on the RCP average. For those that don't know, this doesn't happen. Like, of course, before Biden dropped out, Trump was winning the popular vote by like 2 to 3 points. But let's be real. Things were getting so bad for Democrats and Biden that even Trump, who, despite never winning the popular vote, he was going to win easily. It was just getting that bad for Democrats with Joe on the top of the ticket. His campaign was falling apart. Trump had momentum. And that's why Trump was doing so good in July and even in June. He was actually up in late June by roughly 2 points. So the point is, he was leading before Harris got in the race. And even when Harris was in the race for the first 2 weeks or so, yeah, Trump was leading, but eventually Harris did take a very small lead. The difference is, it's not August anymore. We are in late October. Go back to 2020, and Trump never led, even in July, even in August, even before COVID. In the RCP average, he was never winning. The closest was like Biden plus 4 in like February, and that's it. Back in 2016, outside of a couple days in May and like 2-3 days in July, Trump never led. Let alone in the months of September and October, when, by the way, in the middle of October, it was Clinton plus 7, Clinton plus 6. Back in 2020, it was Biden plus 10, plus 9, plus 8. And then at the very last second, it became a little bit closer. But either way, Trump has never led, let alone this late in the cycle. Before 2024, the latest he's ever led was in July. And that was for 2 to 3 days. That was post-convention. That's it. So that's why this is a big deal, because it's not just, oh, Trump is leading. It's not like it's the middle of August where we're 2 months away from Election Day. No. We are like 10 days out from Election Day. And right now, Trump has the lead in the popular vote, which he doesn't even need, by the way. He doesn't need the popular vote to win. So the fact is, he is not only surging, it's clear as day. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago was Harris plus 2. Now it's Trump plus 0.1, which you could say is a tie, but when you factor out the garbage Morning Consult and Reuters poll, it's probably closer to Trump plus 1. But even then, Trump doesn't need the popular vote. Harris does. For Harris to win, she has to win the popular vote by like 2 to 3 points at the bare minimum. She cannot afford to win it by 2 points, let alone actually just outright lose it. Because Democrats need the popular vote to barely win. Back in 2020, Biden won the popular vote by 4.5. He barely won. In 2016, Clinton won it by 2, and, well, we all know what happened. Trump won the Electoral College. This is not good for Democrats whatsoever. And you look at who's actually showing Trump with a lead or a tied race. Look at this. Emerson, the New York Times, CNN, TIPP, they have the race tied. The Wall Street Journal, Trump +3. Harris X, Trump +2. CNBC, Trump +2. Atlas Intel, which most people would agree to, it's one of the best polls out there. They have Trump +3. Fox News, Trump +2. The only significant Harris leads are from Morning Compost and Reuters. Hell, Rasmussen, which everyone gives a lot of crap towards, they actually have a Harris lead right now, which is defendable because it's only Harris +1. Like, okay, Harris +1, that's the margin of error, that's statistical noise. I can understand that. But you have Harris +3, Harris +4 for Morning Consult and Reuters, and that's it. These are the only two pollsters that show Harris with a popular vote margin large enough to barely win. Hell, the Reuters poll, you could argue Harris +3 is not enough, and that's the biggest problem. It's not just, oh, the popular vote's close and it might be a Trump win. Harris's best polls show her barely winning the Electoral College in that scenario. A Harris +4 is a small Electoral College victory. A Harris +3 is probably a Trump win. Think about that for a second. It's not just Trump is leading, but the best polls for Harris, they don't even show her winning the Electoral College outside of Morning Compost, which they're a shitty pollster. Morning Compost sucks. They have no clue what the hell they're doing, and anytime there's a bad poll for Harris, out of the blue, they drop a Harris +12 in Michigan. I'm not even kidding. Go look that one up. Every time there's a bad poll for Harris, they say Harris +13 in Michigan, Harris +8 in Pennsylvania. Every time. But even Morning Consult, they're actually showing a shift towards Trump. Yeah, just a couple months ago, a month ago I should say, it was Harris +6, Harris +5. Now, their two most recent polls, they found Harris +4. Yeah, a shift towards Trump. This is not good for Harris because even our good polls, they're actually showing a trend towards Trump. Even Reuters a couple months, or I should say a month ago, it was Harris +6, Harris +5. Now, it's Harris +2, Harris +3. Which is, you could argue, not enough. So even our good polls, they're actually shifting against her. Emerson College shifting against her. The New York Times shifting against Harris. CNN shifting against Harris. Wall Street Journal. You just keep going. Every single poll outside of Rasmussen, which, you know, how they do their polls, it does fluctuate, I get that, but Rasmussen, they consistently found Trump +2, Trump +1, Trump +3, and for one day, they found Harris +1. But that's statistical noise. Even Forbes, they found a 6-point shift towards Trump. Which, by the way, this debunks the idea that, oh, it's the far-right polls inflating the average. No. It's CNN finding Trump with a tied in the popular vote. Is CNN a far-right pollster? Is Forbes a far-right pollster? Is even CNBC a far-right pollster? Of course not. They're not this far-right pollster like some people suggest they are. They're not. Yet they're the ones showing Trump with a win. Or at the bare minimum, a tied race for the popular vote. It's actually Rasmussen showing Harris with a small lead. Which they're the far-right pollster that everyone says inflates the average for Trump. Really? They're actually helping Harris prevent this from being like a Trump +1 and on the RCP average right now. This is not good for Harris whatsoever because it's a consistent trend. And even then, you look at the recent polling compared to a month ago or a couple weeks ago, the polls from like 2 to 3 weeks ago, they were having Harris +2s, Harris +1s. Yeah, maybe a Trump +2 here and there, but now it's every poll is showing a tied race, Harris +1, maybe, Trump +3, Trump +2. It's every single poll. Look at the 4 most recent polls on the RCP average. Emerson, the New York Times, CNN, Wall Street Journal. They all show either a tied race or Trump +3. Which I shouldn't even say a tied race, because that's implying this is a close race. If it's a tied popular vote, Trump is winning easily. He's going to win by a lot in the Electoral College. Which, speaking of the Electoral College, it's time we discuss what actually happens if Trump pulls it off. If he wins the popular vote, what's the impact of it? Now, I want to clarify that I'm not saying he will for sure win it. I think right now it's a 50-50 chance he wins a popular vote, which is crazy to suggest, but it's looking more and more likely that Trump could actually win the popular vote. And in that scenario, for starters, he wins the swing states. Can we stop pretending that by some miracle Trump could win the popular vote but lose the Electoral College? For that to happen, Trump would have to do like 15 points better in New York, Florida, Texas, Illinois, California, New Jersey. That's the only way you could argue Trump would somehow win the popular vote but lose the Electoral College. Which, even then, it's like, do you really think that if California, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Texas, if they shifted like 10 to 15 points Republican, do you really think that states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin would just stay the same? I guess it's a possibility, but it's like, okay, if it was a 5-point shift in these states, that's one thing, but 10 to 15 points. No. In that scenario, Trump is going to win all these swing states. Now, I'm not denying the idea that a state like Florida, New York, New Jersey, they could have big shifts to the right compared to the country. I'm not denying that. In fact, I think it's going to happen. I think a state like New York and Florida, they probably will have like a 10-point shift to the right. But that doesn't mean that states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, it doesn't mean they're going to stay the exact same. Which, by the way, even the swing state polling, they suggest Trump is doing way better in every state. In fact, the RCP average in every single swing state right now shows Trump with a lead. Even states like Wisconsin and Michigan, which we all know every year, they dramatically understate Trump's support. Even those states, the polling right now has a Trump win. So this idea it's just New York and California shifting 15 points to the right, that is ludicrous. But let's say Trump, in fact, wins a popular vote by a point. Which, again, I'm not saying that's for sure going to happen, but it's looking more and more likely. As we get closer to Election Day, the polls are swinging against Harris badly. Yeah, I mean, this is getting real ugly for her. Her campaign's falling apart. Trump is gaining momentum. It's a 50-50 chance. But if Trump, in fact, wins a popular vote, you're talking about states like Minnesota, Virginia, hell, states like Maine or even New Mexico being way too close for comfort for Democrats. In fact, there's a brand new poll out of Virginia from Qantas Insights, which, again, go follow them on Twitter, they're great. They found Harris with a 1-point lead. Now, I know Qantas Insights, they lean to the right, blah, 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 I get that. But even the Trump campaign believes there's something happening in Virginia. They are doing one final rally in the Commonwealth. So would it really be crazy to suggest that, hey, maybe Virginia, which, by the way, every other poll is showing a 5 to 6 point shift anyways, but would it really be crazy to suggest that if Trump wins the popular vote, maybe Virginia could be way closer than it should be? I'm not saying it's for sure going to happen, but, I mean, come on. Virginia is clearly shifting to the right compared to 2020. Early voting suggests it's like a 5 to 6 point shift at the bare minimum. Maybe it's more. Maybe it's an 8 to 9 point shift. And now we have Qantas Insights with their polling showing Trump with a down by only 1. Now, does this mean he'll win these states? No. But if you're talking about Trump +1, these states would be way too close for comfort. But if it really gets to like Trump +2, Trump +3, like Atlas Intel, which, again, they're a good pollster, they found Trump +3 just a couple weeks ago. They are one of the best pollsters out there. If it's really Trump +3, yeah, you're probably talking about states like Virginia, Minnesota, Maine, possibly flipping. I'm not saying it's for sure going to happen or it will happen, but if we get a Trump +2, Trump +3 territory, yeah, these states are probably flipping. Trump +1, though, you could argue maybe it's not enough for Maine and Virginia and Minnesota to flip, but Trump +2 or 3, you're talking about a 7-point shift from 2020. A 7-point shift. We'll see what happens, but it is not looking good for Harris whatsoever. The fact that we're even considering the idea that Trump could win the popular vote is just crazy to think about, but that's what the polls right now are showing. Trump is winning the popular vote as of now, and he's gaining momentum, and Harris is just crashing as we speak. We'll see what happens the next week or so, but if you're the Trump campaign, you have to like this map. I mean, you just have to like it, because if you're really up by 1 point in the popular vote, you got the swing states locked down, and you have other possibilities in Virginia and Minnesota, which, again, they may not flip, but they could be way closer than they really should be. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.